Hello, Mark Red Larson here for the Dreamcatcher podcast. Thanks for joining us. Today, my guest is Danielle Lammers. Welcome, Danielle.
No, thank you.
How are you doing?
I am doing very well today, actually. It's
Awesome.
very nice outside, must say.
Not bad for January, that's for sure.
Mm-mm.
So Danielle, you live here in Minden now, but where did you grow up?
I was raised in Northeast Colorado. I went to school in Fort Morgan.
Okay.
So I was a Mustang for a long time.
Well, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and then most of my family is up here, so I spent a lot of my summers and stuff up here.
Nice.
And then my senior year, I actually went to Papio up in Papillion.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. So how was that?
It was definitely a culture change because Fort Morgan's a lot smaller. I mean, it's not tiny, but small. And then I went to this, giant school. They had a pool for swimming.
Nice.
In the school. So that was a big shock. But I loved it because you could be like 10 minutes away from a different county. There's a whole group of friends over there. Nobody really cared about what you were doing because they were minding their own business.
Okay.
They had a lot of there was just so many people that they didn't care about. What they're doing.
Okay. So, you're here in Minden. How did you get here? How did you become living in Minden?
So my father, my dad, he went to school here, grew up here. Our family owns the Burgess Well Co.
Okay.
Down the road. Yep. My great grandpa started that one. And, I'm pretty sure he started that one. But anywho, they all moved back this way. Mm-hmm. And so I decided that after some life changes, it was my turn to move back up here. Really kind of missed hanging out with everybody.
Yeah, I can see that, especially with that. So how long have you been back in Minden?
6 months as of the 15th.
Oh, so just really recently you've done this then. So
yep.
So you're in Minden. What do you do in Minden?
I work in the office at the Pioneer Village.
Okay.
Excuse me, which is actually kind of was a dream job of mine because I grew up going to the village and I've always had a fascination with history and the way that things used to be, is just exciting.
Right.
So we went there quite often. And then, once it kind of started going downhill a little bit, I had plans that once I get up here, I'm going to be on the board or do whatever I need to do because I want to help bring that up. So
exactly.
And since I've been here, I have been crossing my fingers for those scratch tickets so I could win on the
Yeah, that would be awesome. That'd be so great because I can't imagine. And Pioneer Village has done so much. You guys have made so much progress from where it was not even that long ago. So
no, even the last, I think it was like 2 or 3 years, they've been making quite a bit of changes, and that's been really, really exciting to see. It was exciting to see that it had already begun before I got up. Mm-hmm. So that was really, really nice. I really was excited because I didn't even expect them to have a job opening, but they did, and I got
it was meant to be.
Exactly.
Very meant to be. So, like in a day, what's your day look like working out there?
So it's kind of been, I would say, like a bunch of different things. I mean, we all wear many hats.
I bet.
Sure. So starting out, in the morning, I come in and I, put the money where it needs to go.
Right.
Daily reports, and then I check the emails, and then I usually try to get, I just got done sending, I think it was a little over 250 letters to all of the schools in Nebraska.
Wow.
Yep. So that was really exciting. I was kind of using a slightly outdated list of schools, so I need to get a new one because I did get a few of that. But kind of trying to get them to come back in because there is just so much history in there and children around, any kind of school age, I guess. If you find the right thing in there to pique their interest, then they will dive in.
Awesome.
I think that's really neat.
And so for the audience members that really don't know what Pioneer Village is, how would you explain it to a stranger?
Oh, so we've had people say it's the Smithsonian on the plains.
Okay.
It literally has a little of everything. We've got clothing, cars, lamps, clocks, old personal care items.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 13, whereas 13 is my most favorite.
Really? Okay.
Yes. I think a lot of that was because you could see the kitchen, the living room, and like a bedroom setup in each of their little aisles. And so you could really get a vision of what it was like living in their day-to-day life.
Which I think is awesome too.
Oh yeah, because I've got quite the vivid imagination. So it wouldn't take much to kind of play that out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And all of the musical items. I mean, they've just got so many things out there.
They do. And how long? What year did Pioneer Village open up?
1953.
53. So quite a while ago. So
yeah, it's been around. I think that they had their 70th.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yes, I'd forgotten about that. So Minden's very fortunate to have that treasure gem in our town. And I know you guys have big things planned, and I have been doing things because you have what maybe list some of the events you guys that went on last year. Probably maybe before you were here, but what were some of the events?
Quite a few once I got in, for sure. By the time I got in there, it was like only a few weeks away. We were doing the car show.
Okay.
So the car show is a really big one, and we do that with the car club up here, or the car club puts it on.
Okay.
So that's super exciting because you get everybody to come out there. We did, of course, the Christmas on the Prairie, which is a normal thing that they do. This year, we also added in some artisan fairs, and we also added in a Halloween little gathering, which I thought was really fun because, like, the history of Halloween itself is exciting.
It is, yeah, and even if because everybody thinks it's evil, and there's so much more to Halloween than just it's not evil. It's actually not.
It's a celebration of the harvest and things like that. I mean, back in the day, they used to, carve gourds and turnips and things like that rather than pumpkins, but they would carve those to kind of ward the evil spirits away because, everyone was very about evil spirits and
very much, yes.
And the what is the word I'm looking for? Their superstition.
Yes.
About those things.
Yes.
So, but originally, if I'm right, it kind of started as like a celebration of the fall harvest and things like that.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, and then if you look at different areas of the world and see how they celebrate that too, is very exciting.
It is. It's fun. No, I would love to go to other parts of the world to just take part in that. So,
yeah.
So, wasn't too long ago that you had the TV show The Pickers on at Pioneer Village. How long has that been? Has that been?
I want to say 2.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. If it had been so. Would they be back, or do you have any other people coming to see Pioneer Village like them, or anything like that lined up?
I am actually not sure. I have not heard anything about somebody wanting to come out like that. We have had, a couple folks come out so that we could do yet another auction because we did one not that long ago. That's a new thing too.
Okay.
But it kind of helps clear out space and get some of the things that are just collecting dust out of there. Yes. And most of this is out of the Quonsets that we don't use. That we're not using, so.
Okay. So, I mean, you think they won't use the stuff in the Quonsets? I mean, how do they just duplicates, or are they just?
Yeah, a lot of them I think are duplicates, or maybe just not having as much significance as another item that we'd had.
Okay.
So I mean, and I could be wrong there, but that's what I would assume was going through the works mind is that we have the ones that have that are more relevant and things like that.
Yeah. Would you ever want to put up more buildings? Is that ever in the future? Probably yes. I would guess so.
Actually, be exciting to add another Quonset or another building out there so that we could have more because it kind of stops about the 80s.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to get. I mean, we're not that old to start in the 90s, but then we could kind of.
You could
veer into that.
To come to present day, which a lot has changed since the 80s.
Oh, a lot.
So, I mean, anything like the technology we're using today, was never even, wasn't even thought of yet. So,
well, we actually just put up computers through the ages kind of little room out in 13 as well up on the top. And they have some of the first computers, which was really exciting to see.
Yes, it has come a long ways from there to what we even have today, or our phones. I mean, talk about it. It's just amazing what the technology, and that, like the podcast, you can do with people around the world. It's just like they're here, like in the room, like we are. So,
they actually have a Nokia phone.
Do they? Okay.
Makes me quite sad because I do remember not that long ago that we had those.
Let me tell you, it only gets worse. It's like I remember then or that or so. No, and you're young, so just wait until you get to be my age. You'll think, "Wow, gosh, I mean, time flies." That's for sure. So.
It does, and then when you have children, it just goes that much quicker too.
It does.
Before you know it, they're out of the house. So.
And that's the other way around. When you're a kid, it seems like time goes so slow. But boy, when you watch kids grow up or part of their, it's like, wow, in the blink of an eye. So
you get out of school and you move out of the house, and then it's just work, sleep, bills.
That's pretty much it. Yes. No, that is so. So we've talked about out there at Pioneer Village that maybe you guys would like to do a podcast sometime at Pioneer Village. So I think that would be awesome because one thing, you guys would never run out of content.
No, especially if we focused each episode on something that's exciting. Like we were just talking about, the little tidbits throughout the museum that people don't know that's out there.
True, yes.
So, I mean, one of my most favorites, like I said, is the 1830s kitchen in Warehouse 13.
Okay.
Because, nothing does better to excite your, curiosity than to have some sort of a macabre story.
Exactly.
So the table and chairs in the 1830s kitchen in Warehouse 13 is made from the hanging tree in Lowell, Nebraska.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's actually beautifully crafted. But a coworker and I sat down at that table to write a little script because we've been working on like a little 2-minute tour kind of video thing.
Perfect. Yes. Yes.
And we sat down and kind of, tried to rethink our script, and we ended up both getting sick that following day.
Oh, I never thought you probably couldn't. Yeah, that's something that. So, yeah, that is true with all that old stuff. So, no, I mean, there's so many things. I mean, every time I walk through, there's so many things I had never seen too, and it's like I've been through over the years quite a few times, and it's just like, how do I miss that?
Oh, I know. Well, and then cleaning out a lot of the closets and storage areas that we've been doing the last couple of years too. We find a lot of treasures in there. Like
I bet.
Oh, so many cool treasures. Like so many old pictures that are just so neat to see. We found a bunch of like Kodak, like original back in the day, like the big glass dark jars full of the chemicals and things.
Oh, wow.
Some of them even brand new for Kodak picture development.
Amazing.
And, yeah, that was super exciting to find. Just because it has not been touched since it's been.
This is kind of like Christmas morning.
Oh, yes, yes.
You don't know what you're going to get when you go into. I mean, that is so cool. So, have you ever thought about doing like a video when you're doing that, searching, kind of like that? Or
that would be a great idea, actually. Kind of be like, okay, well, let's do a little.
See what we find here.
Yeah, just found this random dirty, dusty box. Let's see what's in here.
I would think people would go for that. That's for sure. So. And then when the podcast is up, then you will have a YouTube channel. Is that the goal, or is that some direction you want to go? Or
well, and I think that the one reason that we were kind of talking about like the little mini tours was because there are a lot of folks out there who can't leave home or any place like that, and they would like to kind of see some of those things.
Yes.
I think that'd be kind of cool. And if we just kind of put a little bit of crumbs out there for people to be interested in to come and see the rest of it. So.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you guys, like I said earlier, you guys could never run out of things there. So, I mean, no, it's just. So, what's one of your favorite areas of the museum? I know you said you like 13, building 13.
Is one of my most favorites.
Is that?
It is one of my most favorites. But I also absolutely love the stockade, the house out, the first.
Really? Okay.
Yes,
okay.
Because just seeing how they lived they were so minimalistic.
Yes.
Then I mean, and honestly, you couldn't have it any other way because you would come on your, horse and buggy.
Right.
And you would just kind of start you have your family home. What is the word I'm looking for?
Like homestead?
Yes, they would start their little homestead.
Okay.
I mean, it was simply built out of, logs and things like that. It's very, very simple. And you walked in, but the way that it looks on the outside, you would not picture it looking that nice on the inside. And same with the sod house. It actually looks like a little, home on the inside.
Yeah, it does. It's amazing how much difference it is.
Yes. And then I love, love, love the schoolhouse. And I believe that's one of the first buildings that they put out there.
Really? That? Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I want to say that was Harold and his family's. Like, that was their schoolhouse.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah. But the fact that they taught... I mean, it was so small back then. They could teach in a one room schoolhouse, but they taught so many different children, so many different levels of learning.
Right.
And it was nice the way that the older kids would help out with the little kids and things like that. But also the rules that the teachers had back then were very insane.
They are
crazy. Yeah. they were cool. I mean, it was cool, but very restrictive.
It's like you wouldn't get any teachers with those rules nowadays, not even close. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was out there. I saw a list of rules, and it's like, my word. I mean, they couldn't do anything. I mean,
no, the one that like got me the most was that they were not allowed to be married. They were pretty much.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And they weren't really allowed. I think that from where I read somewhere is they weren't really allowed to like go out and about unless they had a chaperone. Also.
Wow.
Yeah.
Times have changed, and I think in that situation, very, very good.
Yes.
So, talk about the carousel and how the journey of that, which is amazing, where that started out to where it is now.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you'll have to come and see it because I mean, but I'm hoping by this spring we'll be able to have everything done so that we can get everything going.
Okay.
But no, that's very exciting. We've got some hard workers out in the hotel part of it. That's where they're doing all the painting. But I mean, they're stripping them down, all the paint off, fixing the chips in the woods. I mean, bringing it, literally restoring it.
They really, really are. Yes.
And they did such an amazing job.
Yes.
And I mean, and now we've built like a little, I guess, house around the outside of it. So it's not as open.
Yeah.
So you can so we can close it up during the bad weather.
Which is good. Yes. Especially when all that work's going to restoring it. That's for sure.
Yep. And hopefully, eventually, someone will want to come and maybe volunteer their time to get the steam engine going again.
Okay.
Right now, we're going to convert it to electricity just so that we can get it going.
And I can see that. Yeah, for the meantime. So.
Right. And then because we don't have anybody out there right now that, specializes in steam
engines. And that would be very much specialization. That's for sure. So you don't want to learn about steam engines?
I can find some time.
There you go. Yeah.
Go ahead and search that. I'll just watch a YouTube video.
Yeah, there you go. There's got to be something about that on there. That's for sure. So, but no, I mean, if you're ever in this area, Minden, Nebraska, it's worth just stopping to look at the carousel because it is. And I haven't even seen basically, I don't know if it's completed. Is it completed now?
Not quite. So, I mean, we just need to, it's almost completed. We don't have all of our horses in there. We don't have them hooked up yet. Those are still down in the bay. We're kind of waiting for the weather to get a little nicer,
I can see
it's delicate. And then doorknobs.
Doorknobs?
Doorknobs.
Okay, so what about doorknobs?
We don't have them yet. So.
Okay. So to get into that's a problem.
Right. So, I mean, when we had our, let's say it was the first show, but definitely when we had the artisan fair, we had Brad Roberts out there. He's kind of, one of the special guys out there that does a lot of that restoring. And
I've met him. I like him.
Yep. And Miss Joanne, she does a really great job too. And I know that I'm missing a couple that have probably more than a couple that have helped out a lot.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah.
People so I know you guys have been working on trying to get a place for people to stay for a while now. And I don't know how that's progressing, but I know the last time I talked to you, talked about maybe getting some of those other buildings just to I don't know what you call it, but for people to be able to stay in kind of
like a
Airbnb or something.
Yeah. I was hoping. I mean, I know that it'll be quite costly for us to get the big motel up and going again.
Yeah.
So I was kind of looking around with a couple other people, over in the bricks to kind of see what we could, how much that might cost. You're just guesstimating, and we're not professionals by any means, but it is a nonprofit, so if it's, right now, and this is the time of year that our ticket sales kind of get slow, but we surprisingly had quite a few lifetime memberships sold this year.
Awesome.
Yes, that was nice because those keep people coming in and stuff. So we need more money coming in per se. So when Harold started it, he wanted it to be self-sufficient. So that's why we had, the motel, the restaurant. There was the white buildings over on the side that was the motel, the campgrounds.
Right.
We're actually renovating our campground so that we can add to it and get more updated fixtures in there.
That would be good because so many people do that anymore. Go travel the country with their Sprinter vans or whatever, and they're and when they originally built them, people didn't do that as often throughout the year. Now we've got people in the big motor homes that need full hookups and more electricity for sure. Yeah, and then we're going to bury these pipes a little deeper too, so then it won't
be such a problem with freezing.
Yeah, you don't want to. And in this state, you never know what you're going to get from really, really cold. It's good because it can get very cold here. So anybody that's not familiar with Nebraska, we get a variety. That is for sure.
Yes.
So are you hoping the new part of the campground to be open by this summer?
Hopefully, yes. But, there's always something that
there is. Yes, especially in today's world.
Oh, yes. Always, always. And then we have, other surprise pop-ups that need intending to. Like, we really need to get our plumbing updated. The heating we've been doing a little updating with the heating for things.
That's good.
But that's also very expensive.
Oh, it is tremendously.
Very. And then electricity would be nice to kind of get that renovated up there too. But all of those three things alone cost an excessive.
Tremendous. Yeah, I can't even imagine in today's world as much. It would surprise me, I'm sure. So, but and I don't know how. I mean, you have a lot of lights on. I know some of them have been switched over to LEDs, but which I think would help a lot, but. That just switching over is a big job too. So
oh yeah, and we have a fantastic electrician.
That helps too. That definitely helps in this day and age too. So when you were growing up, did you think you would be doing something like this? Was this your dream?
Oh, it was. Yes.
Really? Okay.
I didn't think so. I didn't think that I'd be able to do that because I know that the village it was very tight knit, and thank goodness for Monica because honestly, it probably would have closed down if she hadn't taken that upon herself and the passion that she had for that place. It was her baby.
Yes.
So I have the utmost respect for her.
Yeah, it is great that she has done that. So if somebody's watching this and it's like, so how do I find out more about Pioneer Village? Are you online or did they website or what how can they find you?
So like we have been, like we've said, we've been doing a lot of updating and things. So that our website actually needs some updating. So we're kind of looking at how we can make that more user-friendly, more information and things like that. And then, like I said, once we get these 2-minute tubers going, that'll kind of
I think that's very good.
Give you a little bit of
snippets,
insight. Yeah, because then you kind of want to see, like the first one we were talking about was the 1830s kitchen to the 1980s kitchen. Because if you look at the 1980s kitchen, you can still find those everywhere around here.
You can.
And and then the kitchen in the 1980s was actually had a lot of awesome storage, a lot of Heidi cubbies.
It did.
We don't have enough of that anymore.
No, we do not. Well, everything's kind of gotten too minimalist, very much. And I kind of see it changing, like 50s stuff, these color, like all the stuff that was, I guess, popular in the 50s, which is color, that's for sure. Like those old metal, the tables. And I mean, it's just like, and those old refrigerators. I mean, it's just, I guess that
the 50s kitchens are my favorite. Honestly,
they are. They're awesome.
We should have stuck with a lot of the fun stuff that they have. I mean, some of their fridges. I mean, you can pull a whole.
You can
drawers and your shelves, and then you have this like little thing that's sitting on a bar. And you can pull that out. There's a whole other set of shelves.
Yep.
Their storage in their cupboards was insane too, and a lot of their things they had up above. So
they did.
I mean, for even being minimalistic, those kitchens were top notch because you can put everything had a spot. Everything.
It did. You very much. It was awesome. That's for sure. So going back to Pioneer Village. So Harold Warp is the one that started it. What is the background of Harold Warp?
So from what I know, and if I've got any of it wrong, I apologize. I mean, I love the man. He's like an enigma to me, just famous because I've never known, I guess, so much through history, someone who had come up from the bottom, and that's probably why he was as humble as he was.
Yeah, I bet that was
because
part of it.
He was born in a replica. I mean, this odd house at the village is a replica of what the house was born into.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, and I believe that his parents died when he was pretty young, and he went and lived with a sibling.
Okay.
I think that's how he got to Chicago, I believe. But he was self-made pretty much. He invented the flexoglass and warp plastics and things, which was really neat because the only place I've ever seen flexoglass advertised anywhere was Akron, Colorado.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, in our hardware store. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah.
So that was exciting. So he kind of built his money based off of his warped plastics. And then his sister, Clara, and her husband, CT, he was an auctioneer. And so they kind of helped build the village that way. She would go find places, or he would fund it, and they would find the items
gotcha.
at auctions all over Nebraska, and sometimes farther even.
Really?
Yes. So then I believe don't quote me, the church, I want to say, might have been a church that was on their property when they were growing up, and then the schoolhouse, like I said, I think that him and his family went to the schoolhouse there. So they've got some of this I think is very sentimental to him.
I can see that too.
Yes,
very much.
I think that he was a huge history buff, and he wanted to make sure that our children and our children's children won't forget where we started.
Very important.
And how we grew in America, and how we came up, and the good jump that came from, the 1800s to the 1900s.
Oh, yes. Tremendous. I mean, you just just looking at them, where they were and where we are now.
I know they would probably be completely flabbergasted.
I think they would. And I probably wouldn't be around if I lived then, because I probably would have died. Because I don't think I would have.
I believe getting closer to I think it was like the 40s and 50s was kind of old back then.
Yes.
And everybody was so tiny and petite too.
Yep.
I mean, you worked for your food. You worked to make the food.
And the illnesses I've had, and then I had my appendix emergency, when I was 13, and it's like I probably would have died then because it had ruptured. And there's so many things that, and one thing, you need to know where you come from, really do. And I think we're so much in a hurry in this country anymore that we need to really step back and see where we've come from. And appreciate it.
And that's part of finding yourself as an adult as well, is you kind of have to know where I feel like it's very important that we know where our family had come from, our roots and things. And you don't have to necessarily immerse yourself in that, but at least then you have an understanding, what I'm saying? Like, you have an understanding of why your grandparents worked so hard and were so stern.
Yes.
And where they came from. I mean, our children right now would not be able to survive as children back then, because a lot of them were out. If they even got to go to school, they were working.
They were very much. Yeah. Yeah. Going to school was not the norm.
No, sometimes it was even considered a privilege.
Yep.
So.
No, I'm just glad you guys are working on this. So, so you have some literature here
yeah, Harold was actually also a published writer,
which I did not know until a few minutes ago.
Yes, and I know that they're not really selling many of his books, but I would really love it if we could get, there's so many people that are interested in how the Pioneer Village had started and how it had come about. And his book that he wrote, Letters to Clara, is literally an outline. It's letters between the two of them, but it's an outline of everything from beginning to end.
Really?
The correspondence between the two and how they had come. Yeah, and it was so exciting.
Neat.
And to even see a lot of our local people that are, their families are still around today.
Oh, yes.
That were a very big part of that, getting it up together. And then, so I did bring with me 500 Fascinating Facts, a true record of discoveries, inventions, developments in these United States and persons responsible by Harold Warp. And a majority of this are items that we have in the village right now. I didn't even know that we have, possession of the oldest, the oldest Buick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's a Buick. Yeah, the one you have right up there. That's
up in the front. That's
which is awesome vehicle
in history, or in out there right now. That's one of the oldest Buicks. So that was really exciting. Yeah, he has little facts about everything. I would really I haven't gotten all the way through here, but I need to find the Valhalla in here, because the Valhalla boat that we have out there is quite interesting. I believe it was the Valhalla 2 that was part of the war. They were out there tracking submarines.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And it was like a spy boat, because it looked like a regular old fisher boat, and it does look quite your regular old fishing boat. So that was actually really exciting.
Is that in the front building there? Okay, yes, I think I know where it's at. I was trying to think what that looks like, but
over by the red amphibious car.
Yes. Yeah, which is amazing too. So, I mean, there's so many things that, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't understand how he had the time to do half the things that he did, because he was a very busy man. But he was also very, he went on the schedule, he was very precise about the things that he did. So yeah, Harold was quite the man for sure. And if it wasn't for his sister and CT and all the people that helped put it together, then he probably would never have the village,
True.
But like I said, what other wealthy man do you know that has a private collection and shares it with everybody?
True. Yeah, usually they want to keep it to themselves. Yeah, that says a lot about what man he was.
Right. He was very, very. I feel that. I did not get to meet him. Never met anybody in the family, which I'd love to because that'd be exciting.
It would.
But he seemed like a very generous man.
Yeah,
very
I would guess that too.
Fair man too. Like fair is a different word.
True.
Than it is now too. But yeah, and then his grandchildren are pretty fascinating in themselves. They've taken over Work Plastics, and
have they? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
and they kind of, like I feel like more people want to know about Work themselves too, the Work family.
I see that too. Yeah.
Yeah, like they want to know about the grandchildren. They want to know, how they've been living life.
Right. Exactly.
Being part of such a big deal.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem so big to everybody, but the village is quite.
If you ever, and you need to be here, you need to come see the village. Your mouth will just be like, I can't believe this is in central Nebraska, South Central Nebraska. It's amazing. I'm because it's my hometown. I'm kind of, but it is. If I went to this any town, I would be like, wow, they've got a gem there.
Yes,
and it is. It's just every time I go through it, it's just like I just can't believe, and that it all got put together right where it's at.
Oh yeah, you do see. You do see people moving buildings, but not like that, not like they used to. Mm-hmm. And it's very interesting to see how well they put them back together.
Yes, very well.
And I know that there've got to be parts and bits in there that aren't necessarily original. They had to kind of make up something, to fix something, or else the other. But they just did an amazing job putting it together. They really did. It looked. If you look at a lot of the old pictures too, it's also grown, the main building. Like the first half of that, or that big half, the second half where we had the Valhalla and the trolleys, that wasn't always there.
Okay.
So originally it just started at that main building.
Okay.
And also, Harold designed that building to be like an old 50s car dealership.
That's interesting. I did not know that, but it does make sense now. So, wow, that is cool. That just, I can't see what you guys. I can't wait to see what you guys are going to be doing with this, getting a podcast up. And there's so many. You can even have there's people wanting to do channels, which I don't know how that's really different than like a podcast.
Right.
But you could have Pioneer Village TV. You can have your own cable. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You could really run with that too. So, so how many people are helping you with this? What you're doing right now?
Like with all the renovating and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, our staff, this is the most that we've had staff-wise.
Okay.
For quite a while. We've got our, groundskeeper. We've got this Becky. I love her so much because she
is amazing. Yes,
and she does. She's such a.
Yes, I know. When I was there this past summer, she was everywhere. She was there, and then she was there. It's like you move fast. She's amazing.
Yes, I would love to have her as because she's so good and very efficient, and we like to do the research. We find that very exciting when somebody comes with some little fun tidbits about what we have there, or people that had worked there or their own experience there. And I think that I also am working on a newsletter, so then we can let our members and people like that know what we've got planned, what we have been doing.
Awesome.
Because they do want to know, and people, if they'd had come a few years ago, they might not want to buy a membership because we weren't sure what was going to happen with it. Right. But if they know that we're trying to renovate it or trying to bring it back to life,
come a long way
to see it popping like it was.
Yes.
There are pictures that we had found where the whole place is just completely full. The whole courtyard is full of people, and it would be really exciting to see that again. Like when we had the car show, that was probably as close that I'd seen it like that, and I could, because we want to continue on his dream.
Yes.
We want to continue on
the dream. You want to continue the dream forward. So
and I feel like a lot of the people that are working there right now too, and a lot of the volunteers too, it's personal to them. It holds a spot in their heart.
Yes,
and we don't ever want to see that go to waste.
No, because it was, and if you. Some of the stuff I've seen out there is like, don't believe what some of the older stuff, literature and stuff that I've seen, because you guys, so many things have been repaired and put
Yeah.
back to the way they were or better. Check it out because it is just, I mean, you have a ways to go, but there are so many things to do in that area.
There are so many. Oh, yeah. One thing that we would really like to get going this spring is to have people come out and volunteer to dust because it has.
That would be
been
never
very
ending.
dusty.
Yes.
Yeah. It just spending a day dusting would be so significant.
Yes.
But we also need to find some way to like get that dust like a vacuum or something.
Yes.
So then it's not spreading to the next car because that's what we have problems with.
I could see that happening. Yes. And you have a lot of cars in those buildings there too. So.
And I have no idea how we dust those planes up top either. I have no idea.
That might be a drone.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Or just be up on that top little ledge there where we have all the dolls and things and just a little shot back, but blowing on it.
Have to experiment on that. So, I mean, so somebody that's never been here, what are some things we talked about cars and kitchens and, era pieces and stuff. So what are some other things that they would find coming to Pioneer Village?
I did just mention the doll collection.
Yes.
If you're afraid of dolls, don't go up there. Very creepy. Okay. But it is really neat to see, like, they have a collection of, like, presidential dolls up there.
I didn't know that.
Very neat. Yes, I love that.
Oh, wow.
They have a little spot there that has a lot of toys and things, like, from back in the day, when they had lead paint and they were made from lead.
Right.
Some other really cool. Oh, the lamps also are very exciting to see. I mean, there's one specific one that I absolutely love, and I want to say, I can't remember what it's. You would think that it was from this specific era, but it is. It looks a little bit Egyptian. But
oh, really? Okay.
I'll have to tell you about it next time. I'll have to go look and
okay, I can relate with that.
But also, one of my favorite things that people should know, too, is a lot of the write-ups about the exhibits that we have and the other little trinkets and things that we have were all written by Harold. He did the research and he wrote, he typed that out. And maybe some of them were done by Claire or something, but I know that
but still, wow.
Of them. Yeah.
That's never slept.
No, I'm telling you, I don't know how he did it. I
guess when it's your passion, though, it just
the passion drives.
Yeah, it does. So, but I know you guys have farm machinery and stuff like that, and I'm just trying to think of all the things. I mean, you have some vintage Christmas because I collect vintage Christmas, and you have a little bit of that.
Yeah.
So I look at that every time I go by that one case there, or those cases. I don't know if it's still there in that case.
In the souvenir shop? Oh, it is. Okay. The Santa mask can go anytime. Someone could get that. It's very, very... The way that they portrayed things in the day, I feel were very creepy now. I feel like
some of that really was, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like back to Halloween costumes back then were very creepy, and it was literally just a gunny sack with the holes cut out. So
yes. So, and you guys talking about souvenir shop and gift shop, you guys have an awesome one. I didn't realize how nice that is until very recently, and that you don't have to pay to get in to the museum to go to the gift shop.
Right, you can just come in and go shopping in the gift shop.
Yeah, I mean that's very nice. Gift shop.
Got a lot of local goods and stuff that are handmade and things in there. They've kind of just did a little revamp in there. We kind of, pulled a lot of the things out that are from. You could honestly have been from when we first opened. I mean, there were an abundance of older things, and so we kind of, put some new things out. So that's been very nice actually.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's very cool. And you have a very nice lady working in there, too.
Yes, she is the sweetest.
She is, very much. And first time I think I met her, I talked to her quite a while. Imagine me talking. But she is. But no, she was showing me from the honey to, you have a lot of different, easy for me to say, a lot of different things that are local. So, and I always think that is so cool too. And some of that stuff I didn't even know that was around Minden area. So
me either. Yeah, I was very excited about Crohn's honey because I'm a huge fan of honey. Period.
Me too.
Especially local honey and for your health.
Yes.
This is the time where we should be eating lots of honey.
We should because there's a lot of sickness, as you know, around, and there is definitely a lot around respiratory, and there just is. So, membership. Okay, if somebody local or not local, I imagine you would sell a membership. Can they buy a membership online, or how would they do that?
So we don't quite have that set up yet.
Okay.
But you can call in and pay for a membership.
Okay.
And we'll just grab your information, send you your card, your extra tickets. And so when you do get a membership, though, you get your membership, which is, for the lifetime membership, you would get 8 general admission passes.
Okay.
no, that's not the lifetime. Sorry. You would get 10 general admission passes, but your membership card itself is good for 10 family members.
Really?
So $500 once in your life, and you get 20 entries, at each year.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a good deal.
That's very nice. Yep. And you get, discounts in the souvenir shop if you want to rent the museum for something or the other.
Really? You can rent the museum? Mm-hmm. I did not know that. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, you can rent the facilities. Also, we've got the diner out there, that 1950s diner.
Yes.
Which is also part of history because it was in Kearney originally.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
okay.
It wasn't even open that long. I want to say it was only a couple of years that they had it open before it came down here.
Wow. Okay.
And now we have Braxton Smokehouse,
which I hear is very, very good. So I have not been there yet. So I mean, that anytime you have that kind of food, it's.
Yep, Steve does a great job, and Barbie's always nice to see in the window. She's the sweetest as well.
Okay.
Yes, I love them. And so, yeah, we'd kind of like to keep them out there because they have good food.
Yes.
So, and this is the first time we've ever had somebody actually serving out of the diner since it had closed.
I think you guys are making so much progress. I may not see it. Probably progress seems slow when you're on your side of it, but you are. I mean, it just, like the carousel and that. And there's just, if you start writing down all the things you've accomplished in the last years, it's like immense. So,
and then it's probably just as long as the things we want to
I bet.
The things that we would love to get going. Yeah, and I mean, we've got 5 memberships altogether. We've got a covered wagon, which is the cheapest one.
Okay.
And that would get 2 general admission passes a year, and it's for just one person. The card would be for one person.
Okay.
And you would renew that each year. And then we've got our vintage vehicle, which is $100, and you would get 30% discount on the facility rentals, 15% discount.
Okay.
On anything in the museum store.
Right.
And it just kind of gets better from that,
It does. It looks really good.
But like I said, lifetime I feel like is the big deal because it's $500 once for the rest of your life.
Yep.
And it's 20 admissions per year. And even if you don't use them all,
That's really good.
I mean, you can take your friends, you can take the whole family.
Yes.
Get your children and their friends. I mean, because it's really nice. And we really want to see more youth come in and really take interest in it because I feel like they don't love it. They don't love history as much unless it's like in snippets.
It is, yeah.
And that's why I'm also excited about the 2-minute tours because it's in snippets.
It is, yes.
And it'll keep your attention.
And it will, because our attention span has gotten so short in this country. And you just need to know your history. History is so important on whatever your history you need to. You need to know that. So, and $500 in this day and age is not much anymore. So,
no, tax time is coming up. That'd be the perfect time.
Yeah, it would.
A lifetime membership.
So, if somebody wanted to have like a birthday party or something like that, do you have a place for that out there?
So we for towards the back in that same in the northeast, I should say.
Okay.
Corner of the main building. We have a little spot right by the back door that we could probably host.
Work right there. Okay.
A few people. That's where we have a lot of our crafts and things when it's cold. But in the summertime, I mean, you could have the area over by the diner and then the whole courtyard if you really want.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Because it's a big courtyard.
Yes. And that would be pretty exciting having a birthday.
That would be when you wouldn't forget that birthday.
Right. But I mean, we do have to remember we are a museum, so we have to be careful we're not off the birthday parties because that would be fun to clean up.
Yeah, I can understand that too. So, do you have a lot of things scheduled for this coming year?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, I feel like sometimes we will sit in our director Will's office and we will have a little powwow and we'll come up with these ideas, and then it just gets to this big exciting where we're all kind of like, ooh, yeah,
right,
oh yeah, let's do this.
That's good.
And then as we're cleaning, we find little things and we're like, ooh, let's start a new display with these because we didn't even know we had these.
Right.
And I feel like, I don't know, I kind of fight myself with the feelings about how Harold would feel about moving things. But I did come across pictures when it first opened up, and they have moved quite a few.
Have they really? Okay.
Yes,
so,
but I do think also that he would be okay with us kind of keeping it relevant.
Yeah, and I was thinking he would too, very much to the era where you're in right now. So people continue wanting to come to us.
Right, and he was a big businessman. He's a very good businessman. So, business, that would bring business.
Yeah, you just need to, and like he said, to keep it so it was able to self-fund, and that is.
Yeah, and that's the hard part because we don't have the restaurant anymore, sadly. And then none of our, motels or hotels are open. We're just strictly on the campgrounds in the museum right now. And of course, this time of year, it's quite slow because it's very cold and no one wants to be camping.
No, that's true.
But once summer kicks up, we do have that. We have our campgrounds pretty full, pretty consistently.
You do, and if you're expanding that, you already have quite a bit before you expand. So, can you book a place on your campground beforehand, or is it just when you get there
Oh, you can definitely call ahead of time. And reserve spots. I'm actually kind of starting to fill up already.
Oh, that's cool. Because that's very good.
We have a lot of RV clubs that come down, and they'll take quite a few spots, a dozen or so. And then, oh gosh, the car show, we do get real full there too.
I can believe that. Your car show is doing really well. Every year it's been growing. So
yeah, I mean, who doesn't love a car show?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then we were kind of talking about maybe doing a tractor show, because I know that people have done that in the past and things. But I got into contact with a gentleman who's part of this car club down south, and he actually knows a gentleman who made it's like a John Popper.
Okay, right.
John Deere.
Right.
And it has 2 sets of steering wheels, 2 sets of
really
pedals, and so then he can teach people how to drive a tractor.
Oh wow, that's awesome. I never knew that existed. Okay.
I didn't either. No, this man made this for this purpose.
Really?
It's the only one I've
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So it would be really nice. He was talking about maybe we could get him up here. That'd be really cool.
That would be.
And I think just because we're a very agriculture-based state,
very much, yes,
community, I think that having a tractor show and trying to bring tractors that we don't normally see day to day, would be exciting.
I think that would bring in a lot of people. So
yeah,
and bringing in people. You have these groups of people that come to volunteer to help.
Yep.
How do you get on their list, or do you have people like that coming in maybe this summer, or is that? How does that? You do, okay.
I know that there is an annual group that has been coming since before I even came. They would come every year, and they would be, I think, they'd work a week or two.
Yeah,
and then Alan Farland is our volunteer coordinator. So usually, I'm not even sure how
because I didn't know that was even a thing until I knew it was out there going on. It's like, I think that might be kind of fun to go around the country and just volunteer do stuff. And
oh yeah, that would be so much fun. Yeah. How many different places you would see?
Yes. Now talk about a win-win. So, weren't they the one that built the building for around the carousel, or was that somebody else?
I do believe so.
Because I thought these guys are very talented.
Yeah.
Because that's quite the building. So
yeah. Sadly, actually, a lot of the volunteers had left by the time I'd gotten here in July because it was the end of the summer and things were kicking up and they were moving on to their next destination. But this summer, I'm excited to see the full.
Yeah, I mean, so many things going on. I mean, it's so great. So before we end the podcast, anything else you would like to share with the audience?
I feel like if you don't come and see this museum, it would be almost missing out.
Very much.
Quite a bit. Because you can find absolutely anything here. You could probably find your grandma's couch here.
Probably.
We have so much going on in 13. And then even the classic cars just to see, or even, oh my gosh, we have this whole section that is lawnmowers.
I didn't know
from the beginning.
I did. Yes. Must have missed that. I did not know that. Okay.
You'll have to check it out because it's some of those I didn't even know were in existence, and they look like more of a possible death incident.
Really? Okay, that says a lot. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like if you want to see where America started and how it's come, you should definitely come out here. We're open year round. Right now, our hours are 10 to 4. These are winter hours. And we're closed Monday and Tuesday.
Okay.
But Wednesday through Sunday, you can come in 10 to 4. You want to bring your gloves and your coat because the buildings do get quite cold. A lot of our buildings we can't really heat anyway because I feel like it would be a problem with what we have inside.
I think it'd be prohibitive to heat those too for what that would cost. So,
oh Lord, yeah, because some of those houses, like the sod house, that might be a firehouse.
It might be, and you don't want to lose it after it's made it this far into history.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, and that's another thing that we're actually hoping to work on next because it's kind of crumbling, and it'd be so sad to see Harold's original home, the replica.
Yeah, right.
Because you don't see sod houses anymore.
You don't.
At all. And it's just so neat because, like I said, the outside just looks like a clay hut. It looks like a big clob of dirt. And then you go inside and it actually looks like a cabin. It looks like a home.
It looks pretty nice, yeah.
So it's really neat. And we still hold services at our church during the warmer.
Very cool. Yes.
Times. Yes. We do a Christmas service there too. Yeah, it would just be, it's quite the.
Yeah, you'll be amazed what you'll find at this museum. I mean, you'll just about find whatever you can think of, plus so many more things you didn't know existed. So.
Yeah, like we have a really neat wall in the beginning, in the front part there.
Okay.
Well, not really a wall; it's like a case on the wall.
Okay.
Kind of where our statues and things were at, but it is a bunch of like local family Bibles, like the ones that the huge ones that they've come from across the ocean.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. Oh, I mean, yeah, you need to come see this museum. I mean, it's just it's a gem. I mean, it really is, and I know I've said that, but it is. It's a piece of Americana, you know, and that was very true. I mean, it's even more true now because I think we've lost a lot of our history, you know, and just because people have kind of lost this, you know, they don't have as much interest. But I think it's because they think it's boring, and it's anything but boring.
Yeah, so, I feel like, I don't know if you know who Bailey Sarian
is. I don't think so.
Well, I don't think she started as a podcast. I think it was just YouTube videos, but she would do murder mystery and on Mondays, but then she started doing what was it? Something history, dark history. But she would find juicy stories in history, and I feel like that's where we need to be picking it up.
Know, that's
find the juicy stories
in history.
Yeah,
that's a very good idea. I like that a lot.
They looked more prominent than these days. We look like heathens compared to the way that they would conduct themselves then, but they were just as human as we are.
Exactly.
And I find, and research, nobody does research on anything anymore. I feel like that's where we lost a lot of our excitement in history because, I mean, when you're in school, you go based off of the book and it's strictly this kind of history. Right. They don't get into the nitty gritty. Or
it's too bad.
If you find out about somebody that piques your interest, you kind of want to know everything about
You
them.
do. You definitely do. So do you have like a research library?
We do not.
You do not? Okay.
I did recently, in one of the closets that I've been cleaning out,
find
a few boxes full of
7
books. Like, did you know that this Minden is named after Minden in Germany?
Okay.
And then Minden in Germany was also part of the 200-year war, obviously. You know, they were all up there in there. But I found a book that talks about that. It's all in German. I found quite a few books from Minden, Germany, about Minden, Germany, in German.
Wow.
And one of them I found a poster, and it was for their museum, their memorial museum up there for the fight against the French.
Wow.
Yeah. And I haven't really been able to find another poster from this. So I want to say that this poster came from this museum in Germany.
That is, I mean, wow. I mean, I can see how passionate, because you find one thing which leads to another thing.
Yes. And I feel like not wanting to learn about everything is boring. I think about
me too. So are you learning German now?
I've actually been learning German since high school.
Really? Okay.
Years in high school.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
So when I get the time, sometimes it's also kind of hard to find an app that will teach you how a native German would.
Yes.
Because I found out after using certain apps that it's a little different.
Yeah.
They move their words around. But I did find, I think when you are trying to find or learn a foreign language, if you just get the female and the male, pronouns and things right. It becomes a whole lot easier.
Okay.
Yeah. And just your basics, things like that is super.
Okay.
I don't know. I love the German language and the German history. Yeah, the Holocaust was insane, but then when you look into it, more Germans are ashamed of that history, and they were kind of forced into a lot of that as well. But German, I mean, their language you can be saying the sweetest, most loving thing, and it just sounds so robust.
It does. Yes, it very much does in that language. Yes.
Right. So I thought that'd be the perfect language to learn. So when I have to yell at my children in public,
they'll never know what you're saying. Yes. Oh, that's awesome. So, no, I mean, gosh, there's so many things. I bet you like going to work every day or when you go out there, because I do. Like a treasure hunt kind of. You never know what you're going to find out there. So,
and even when I'm not treasure hunting, just getting us out there and trying to get that communication between the public and us, making it more personal and things. I really want to work on bringing people in so that they can see this place.
Yes.
And then we can find more volunteers that are in certain specialty areas that can help us bring more things back to life.
Kind of get the ball rolling, kind of like that. So, and I have been noticing your posts that you've been like, those have been awesome on Facebook, and I probably maybe other platforms too.
Yes. Yeah. We've got an Instagram as well.
Okay.
And I do have to give credit to Lori, our director's wife, because she took a lot of the pictures during the Christmas on the Prairie. There's a lot of times that I don't get to go out and get to do those fun things.
Sure.
Because I've got, the memberships and all the other good stuff
yes.
in the background, the paperwork going on. So she took some amazing pictures, and then we just kind of been keeping it going after that. So yeah, she kind of got our kickstart on there. So once we got more control over there, we've been trying to keep it up. And yeah, I just put a post not that long ago about our top followers. So
really? Okay, that's cool.
Everybody a little badge for being our top followers, and I think that alone gets them coming back.
I do too. They know that you appreciate them.
Yes.
So I think that is very, very good. So so I'm going to ask, when you sleep, because I know you got kids and work here, and you could probably work 24/7 out there almost.
Honestly, I probably could. Sometimes my kids hate it because I do spend a lot of time out there. But the adventure and excitement is never ending.
Yeah,
sometimes
I could definitely see that.
But I also love the fact too that we are coming into a different era. We are newer employees out there, and I love the fact that they, to an extent, they are very family oriented. So if I need to leave to go take care of my children, or if they need to come and sit with me for a moment, I make the boys come and volunteer. It's not as hard to make them volunteer, but any event we have, I bring the boys so that they're teenagers. But
that'll be, I bet they'll look back on that and think that was pretty, pretty neat.
I don't think that they understand how lucky they are, because not very many children get to actually enjoy the backside of the history, and they get to learn more about those things. So
it's learning the fun way.
Exactly.
By a long way. I'd rather learn that way any day.
Yes.
So, no. So do you think they're getting it? Do they have any interest at all in history or certain areas of history?
The boys?
Yeah.
My oldest one definitely does. Yes. Okay. My youngest son, he's only 9. So who knows? Sometimes he finds fun things. Other times, if it's disgusting or scary, he loves it.
That sounds like a 9-year-old.
Yep.
Yeah, that definitely does. So, well, Danielle, unless there's something else you would like to share, I'm going to end the podcast right there. But thank you for being our guest on Dreamcatcher Podcast. I just want to keep in touch on how this is all progressing. Can't wait for you guys to get your podcast up too.
Me either. I'm so excited for that, because I feel like even if we do something like we keep it fresh, even once a month wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if we go too fast, we'll cover majority of the good things too quickly. Yeah. So we gotta, crumbs.
Well, kind of crawl before you, and that's a good way to learn. That's very much a good way to learn.
Yes.
So, but no, I look forward to seeing that. So, but thank you very much for joining me today on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. And I love talking about the village.
So, and I look forward to what comes up this year and in coming years too. So
maybe in let's say another 6 months, we'll have to have a little recap. And
sounds great.
It's going to warm up, and hopefully the carousel gets going.
We'll make that. Sounds like a great plan. We'll plan on that then.
Yes.
So thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day.